many brothers I be sparking and busting, man, like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my cycle.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, and just want to say welcome back to everyone. This is going to be my full Boruto Opening 9 breakdown video, going over the major WTF moments and Easter eggs that you might have missed when you watched the new Boruto opening. I'll also do one later this week for the brand new Boruto ending, because there's a lot of foreshadowing that I've not seen a lot of people mention, and I'm guessing that's due to how much, and we got a lot in the new Boruto opening. So if you're new here, make sure you consider hitting the like button and subscribing for daily Naruto and Boruto content. We cover lesser known lore like the Naruto and Boruto light novels, we do manga and anime reviews, and we do discussion videos that from time to time go a little bit more on the theory level. So we'll be doing these in a top 10 style where I'll number everything as we go. That way it's a lot easier to keep track of everything. I'm not going to play the audio because I got a copyright strike on the first version of this video that I did that included the openings audio, so we won't be using audio for this. Also, the opening spoiled a lot from the manga, which I will address, but I'll keep the spoilers to a minimum and not go deep so the anime onlys aren't ruined, because this isn't the time of the month where we talk about spoilers. So starting things off right away, we got to start off with number 12. The opening shot is an homage to older Naruto and Naruto Shippuden openings where you saw Naruto and Sasuke, where both of them were standing in very close proximity to one another. And the reason why that's so huge is that in this one right here, instead of seeing Boruto and Kawaki in a situation where they're facing each other and you can tell that there's this tense battle, you see both of them standing back to each other, kind of showing off that promise that they made to each other. And I believe Boruto episode 193, where Boruto and Kawaki were talking and Kawaki said that we're gonna work together to uncover the secrets of the Karma Seal, and if you work with me, I'll protect you, I'll show you how to use it, and we'll get rid of Jigen ourselves. So it's an Easter egg in that we're seeing their bond being showcased like Naruto and Sasuke, whereas Naruto and Sasuke were in a situation where their bond was essentially being cracked as circumstances were playing out. Boruto and Kawaki, even though they go their separate ways, Kawaki's running through the village and everything around him is bringing him closer towards Boruto. So that's the difference with Naruto and Sasuke and Boruto and Kawaki in terms of how the opening framed it. So moving on to number 11, now we get to the juicy stuff. So we have Boruto and Kawaki's Otsutsuki transformations actually being shown, and we've already seen Kawaki's Otsutsuki transformation. We saw that in Boruto episode 203 when Jigen tried to capture him and Kawaki ends up transforming, which is very huge because you have to be a certain percentage towards the Otsutsukification in order to enter into a transformation state. And for anime only fans who might be wondering why would they show something like that, essentially we're getting very close to you guys actually seeing that Otsutsuki mode from Boruto. So that's a very interesting thing that they showed you. That's a nice little Easter egg that you see there. Now moving into the next one, now we're getting into the heartbreak of the actual story. So you're getting Naruto's Baryon mode actually being shown off, and this one right here is absolutely huge because you see the silhouette of Naruto's final QB transformation, the Baryon mode. Now without going into spoilers, I'll just tell you this right here. This is an in-game type of a power for a reason. Kurama was saving this one for an absolute reason, and for all the people that saw Naruto and Sasuke get bodied in Boruto episode 204, just know that Naruto and Kurama heard all of your crying, and Naruto and Kurama are coming back with something that's absolutely insane. It's hands down the most epic transformation that we've seen in the series. This surpasses Might Guy going into the 8th gate in my opinion. This is an epic transformation, so be on the lookout for that one right there. Moving into the next WTF moment, which is actually a really huge one, is we see more of Isshiki Otsutuski. So this shot here actually comes from the climax of the actual arc. This is a huge Easter egg. Without going into spoilers, essentially this comes during that final battle with Naruto and Isshiki, and there's a huge moment where Isshiki absolutely loses it, which that's going to be a beautiful moment for Isshiki's voice actor who's currently doing Jigen. That's going to be a beautiful moment right there. If you know anything about Isshiki, you know why I'm saying people in the chat that read the manga need to press F 3 times, because if you know what happens, then you know what happens when this wine drinking, body bag collecting SOB shows up. We're dealing with the big bad guy right here. If Jigen was considered to be strong, then Isshiki is absolutely a walking cheat code. So the next couple of WTF moments, we're gonna roll them in together. So for number 8 and 7, you're gonna see Kawaki battling the Otsutsuki who gave him the Karma Seal, and you're gonna see Sasuke battling that same Otsutsuki. So essentially, you're seeing a rematch with Sasuke versus Isshiki Otsutuski, and it's important to realize that there's a reason why Jigen, when he was being controlled by Isshiki, said that Sasuke was the more dangerous one, contrary to what a lot of people actually think about what happened in Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen in episode 204. Sasuke was able to see the chakra rods from the very first moment when he got stabbed. The problem is Sasuke's just not fast enough to actually avoid them. If you go to the actual manga, you see that as well. If you look at the panel, you see Jigen's fingers being extended, you see a speed line coming from the center of his finger, and then you see something at the edge of the panel, and then the very next panel underneath that, you see Sasuke with his eyes wide open, and then the panel underneath that, you see Sasuke being stabbed. Sasuke saw the chakra rod. So when you see Sasuke going against Isshiki in this shot right here, this is Sasuke realizing that his visual dojutsu gives him the best chance out of anybody out there to put up a fight against Isshiki. It's just that Sasuke lacks the actual power. And now we get to the most controversial moment right here. So everything from this moment onward is absolutely going to be these series defining moments when the anime gets a hold to them. So number 6 is going to be Boruto's Momoshiki transformation, and the big debate, is this a Byakugan or is this a Jogan? Now I've already talked in a separate video about which eye I think that the anime is going to go with. The short and sweet of this is that we've seen people say this is a clear sign that this is a Byakugan, and we've also seen people say this is a Jogan because the back of the eye in this shot is actually black, and that's similar to what you see with the Jogan. And people saying that this is a Byakugan are saying, well, the whole body in this actual scene is a silhouette, so you can't tell if the back of the eye is going to be black or if this is just a artistic silhouette of Boruto being shaded out like everything else. So let me know which one you think it is down in the comment section with the hashtag Jogan Watch and hashtag Byakugan Watch. And I will say the animators are actually teasing both right here, because if you look very closely, you have the obvious shot with the close-up where you have Boruto as a silhouette, and so you can't tell what the back of the eye is going to be. But then you also have another shot earlier on in the actual sequence where Boruto's eyes are completely whited out. So hashtag Jogan Watch and hashtag Byakugan Watch, because this is about to be very fun to read the comment section. Moving into the next one, we have Isshiki Otsutuski's dojutsu being shown. Now this is our first major Easter egg right here. Everything else has been WTF moments that are basically referring to stuff that happens in the manga. So when you look at Isshiki Otsutuski's dojutsu, it's actually patterned after the Dharma wheel. Now Masashi Kishimoto borrows a lot from Buddhism, Taoism, and Japanese mythology, Asian mythology, and so this is no different right here. But what you see here is that you have the Dharma wheel being shown off. The Dharma wheel goes back to Buddhism. It represents the eightfold path that Buddhists follow to achieve the state of nirvana. It's said to have sharp edges that cut through ignorance. The hub stands for discipline, the essential core of meditation practice. Now the reason why it's so huge is you have somebody with a dojutsu that we've never actually seen in the actual series. It has a very distinct pattern. Each of the actual spokes has its own individual meaning. So when you look at the spokes, I'm just going to start from the top and I'm going to work my way clockwise. So you have right view, you have right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation. And what's so interesting about all this is the fact that you're in a situation where like stuff like right understanding is the Four Noble Truths, right thought is thinking well of people and having thoughts of peace, which is ironic given Isshiki's goal towards transcending towards a certain state of being, which I don't want to spoil for anime only fans. Then you have right speech, which is to refrain from lying, slander, and gossip. And then you have right action, which is to restrain from stealing and killing and attacking others. Once you start getting into Isshiki Otsutuski's actual character, you're gonna start seeing where the confliction and the irony in the fact that his eye is patterned after the Dharma wheel, and you start looking at the principles of wisdom and morality and concentration. It's very interesting, but that's not the only Easter egg that you're seeing here. So when you look at Isshiki Otsutuski in this actual shot, another Easter egg is the fact that Isshiki Otsutuski is actually patterned after the Isshin Boshi mythology. Isshin Boshi was a 1-inch man, which kind of makes you look at Isshiki being able to shrink himself, and you should start connecting the dots. The same thing with the hammer on the back of Isshiki Otsutuski's cloak, which you actually saw when Sasuke saw the hologram of him. Isshin Boshi carries a huge wish-granting mallet in the actual manga, so that's something very interesting. You start seeing a lot of Buddhism and Asian mythology and folklore when you start digging deep into the Naruto franchise. When you look at Jigen's character and you look at Isshiki Otsutuski's character and the mannerisms, that's why you're actually seeing that, because of that Dharma wheel. So moving on to the next one, when you have Isshiki Otsutuski's chakra cubes being shown, and for this right here, this is also pretty huge given the fact that those cubes right there are basically, like I said before, Isshiki is a walking cheat code. Well, what you see right here is that these cubes got used in the actual climax of the Naruto versus Isshiki battle, and without going into major spoilers, essentially you're gonna see why myself and others said that it does not matter if Naruto uses Sage mode or if Naruto uses Sage's 6 pass mode, which he can use in his actual base, or if Naruto uses Sage's 6 pass chakra mode. It does not matter, and it's directly because of the power of these actual cubes. When you look at the last Boruto opening, you actually saw Boruto and Kawaki using a Rasengan and Kawaki using a chakra attack to try and counter these cubes. These cubes are very powerful. The opening was very misleading. So I like the fact that you actually see here that they're teasing that these cubes are coming in a major way. And you'll also notice, if you paid attention to when Kara was assembling and when Jigen was in that alternate dimension, that those cubes were also floating in that dimension as well. Now moving on to the top 3. At number 3, we have Sasuke Uchiha's bleeding eye, and this is huge right here because at first glance, the untrained eye would say this is Sasuke using a Matarasu, but if you look at it, every time Sasuke's used a Matarasu in the Boruto anime at least, Sasuke has always used it in one specific eye. It's never actually been in the eye that has the Rinnegan. There's a reason why Sasuke's Rinnegan is bleeding right here. This is a huge WTF moment right here. This is one of those times I can't believe they actually put this in the actual anime, in the anime opening, but given how fast they're adapting everything, they kind of had to, because this is a critical moment in the series. So right here at number 2, we have Boruto holding Naruto's hand with Sasuke and Kawaki standing around him, and this is one of those times for me, it absolutely broke me, because up to this point, you saw Naruto in the Baryon mode, you saw Isshiki implying that these two characters are fighting, and I've seen people say, does this mean that Naruto's dead or dying or passing away? And I don't want to go into spoilers, but I will say that there's a reason why Kurama held on to this actual transformation, the Baryon mode, and what you're seeing with Naruto right here is a direct effect of that. The opening even goes a step further, and it has Naruto with tears in his eyes, and if you know anything about the message of Boruto, outside of where the science and ninjutsu fit hand in hand, Boruto's also a story about fatherhood. Naruto's story's kind of done, but at the same time, Naruto's story is also continuing in this theme right here, the relationship between parent and child, and that bond, that message of fatherhood that's so prevalent in the battle with Jigen versus Naruto. When I did a whole video breaking down why that fight is so important, it's even more so when you look at the battle with Isshiki Otsutuski. And I have to say this right here, the tears in Naruto's eye is a very nice touch that was not in the manga when this scene was done. And I gotta say, one thing that makes this so beautiful is that Naruto's holding his son's hand, looking up at his son with tears in his eyes after Naruto went through so much for his child. Somewhere Minato and Kushina are looking down at Naruto with a smile on their face because their baby boy has definitely made them proud with what he just did for his son. And if you count Kawaki as being his adopted son, then this scene's gonna hit you even harder. And the final WTF moment right here is that you have this moment to where Naruto's walking with his family looking extremely relaxed, and he's holding the hand of the son that he protected, and he's also got his other arm around his adopted son, trying to keep him close to him, which is another sign that Naruto is holding on to those bonds that he's created, and also that duty as the Hokage. It's very symbolic because on one side you see Naruto's duty as Hokage and how he's keeping Kawaki close to him, but he's also holding Boruto's hand. We haven't actually seen Naruto holding Boruto's hand in this manner, and if you know what happens in that previous moment that I went over, you know why Naruto's being so overprotective of Boruto right here. So those were my top 10 WTF and Easter egg moments right here. There's actually a lot more to actually go over in the actual anime ending. I'll make a separate video for that because there's a lot of symbolism and foreshadowing in that moment right there. It's not as spoiler heavy, but if you're able to make the connections, your heart's absolutely going to be broken once you put two and two together. So be on the lookout for that one. But let me know down in the comment section below if you noticed any things that I might have missed. And I want to know from you guys who watch the anime, when do you think the Boruto anime is going to stop adapting the manga? This is a serious conversation we need to have. Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.